Oh, just waiting for the live to fully go live. I think we're just about there. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah Olivieri, and today I'm going to give you 11 questions to ask yourself when setting goals. In case you are new here, I have been an executive director multiple times, founder multiple times, secret toilet bowl fixer, and for the last decade or so, I have been a trainer, coach, consultant to nonprofits. I've also been a board member multiple times. I've done all the things pretty much in nonprofits. And I like to come to you every week with tips to help nonprofit leaders and leaders of all types run their organizations better. All right, today we are talking about setting goals. And specifically, I'm going to give you 11 questions to ask yourself about your goals when you're setting goals so that you can set even better goals. If you're with me live, say hey in the chat. I'd love to see you here. If you're watching the recording, happy to see your comments after the fact as well. All right, question number 1. How will achieving this goal actually help us move forward? Or will it actually move us forward? How will achieving this goal help move us forward? Question 2. What secondary impacts will achieving this goal have? Oftentimes, our activities have multiple benefits. And if we could do one activity, which have like 10 secondary benefits versus a second activity that has, no secondary benefits, well, then let's do the one with all the secondary benefits. But let's remember that those secondary benefits are the secondary benefits and not the primary reason we're doing the goal, so we don't get distracted as we're executing on that goal. Question 3. Is this really the best way to achieve the desired impact that we're trying to achieve given our available resources? In other words, is this the most efficient way? Is this the most effective way? I love to reframe this thinking we want to do this thing. It's going to cost $30,000. And then we need to ask ourselves, when we ask ourselves, is this the best way? We need to also ask ourselves, is this the best way to spend $30,000? Right? That's another way of asking that same question. Sometimes when you frame it that way, all of a sudden you're like, absolutely not. We do so much better spending $30,000 doing something else. Or maybe the opposite is true, in which case you should keep that goal. Number 4 is really, really important. What happens if we just don't do anything? Right? What if we do nothing? Sometimes when we think about this, when we dare to think about this, we realize that actually things might not be so bad. It might turn out just fine, in which case doing nothing might be our most efficient, effective course of action. Number 5, what would we do differently if money wasn't an issue? So how do we solve this? How do we achieve this goal? Sometimes goals are solving problems. Sometimes they're achieving something new. What would we do differently in achieving this goal if money wasn't an issue? Number 6, how important is it that we work on this goal right now? So often when I work with organizations on strategy, where the challenge comes, where the pitfalls happen, is not so much what they planned to do to achieve their goal, but when they planned to do it. Oftentimes, great strategy is more a matter of timing than tactics. Tactics matter, but timing is critical. Number 7, what would happen if we waited on this goal? Right? What if we just didn't work on it right now? And we kind of we like to call it pinning an issue here at PivotGround. We say, I'm going to pin an issue and know that needs work, but we're not working on it right now because we've got other things that we need to focus on. Question number 8 that you should ask yourself when setting goals is, what assumptions are we making? And another version of that question that I like is, what are we assuming that might not actually be true? Right? So we always want to know, where are we basing our decisions on, sure bets, facts, and where are we making things on assumptions? Sometimes we have to use assumptions, right? But we need to know what we're assuming when we go into it. Helps us reduce our risks. Number 10, are we sure we will have buy-in from the people we will need to help us in achieving this goal? Sometimes as leaders, especially as board members, it's fun and fancy to set a goal and say, yep, and we're going to do all these things. And if you're not the one who's going to do them all, and you didn't get buy-in from all the people who are going to have to do the activities to achieve the goal, you might find yourself struggling to get that project or multiple projects done. All right. Question number 11 to ask yourself when setting goals. Do we have the resources, money, time, expertise in place to accomplish this goal now? If you do not, what we like to do in the strategic leadership framework that I teach, the impact method, if you do not have the resources to achieve this goal now, we usually mark that as a build capacity to do goal, and we don't plan out everything that we're going to do to achieve it. We then know that what we need to do is set another goal that's all about adding resources in order to even get started on a goal that needs more resources. So those are my 11 questions that you can ask of every goal that you're setting as you do your strategic planning, whether you do that every 5 years, every 3 years, every year, or like we do in the impact method, every 2 months, where we just are so good at building strategy because it's something we do regularly. Ask these questions and you will find yourself setting better goals and making a bigger impact. Until next time, I'm Sarah Olivieri. If you would like to receive tips like these and announcements about when I go live, you can do that by signing up at inspirednonprofitleadership.com.